Hey guys, it's Ness. Welcome back to my channel. Before I start this video, I just want to say a big thank you to whoever actually sent me these. Basically what happened was on Twitter I said that it was my birthday in 3 weeks and it was my wedding in 6 weeks, and I wasn't looking forward to either of them. I was having problems with my mental health, I was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and I was crying a lot. And I think Rebecca from Rebecca Reads may have orchestrated like getting me some birthday presents of people to cheer me up, and they came yesterday. Honestly, I've been crying all day yesterday. I don't accept gifts very well because it just makes me an emotional mess. And she put something on Twitter and I think in maybe Instagram, and yesterday the door went and the Amazon delivery guy was like, here you go. So I put a picture of these on Twitter, but only one person came forward and said that one of these was off them. So I don't know who sent me the other ones. I'm obviously not opening them until my birthday on the 15th, but I would love to know who they're off so I can thank someone in advance. Honestly, this is a kindness that I feel like I can't repay. I'm so touched and overwhelmed, and I feel so supported, and it's not a feeling that I'm gonna cry again. It's not something that I'm used to. I've just been going through a lot of problems, but anyway, whole life is a mess, and I feel like if I hadn't had Rebecca to keep me going, I probably wouldn't be here now. So the fact that it's not just her anymore that I feel supported by is just, okay, I really need to stop. It's just, I'm honestly just overwhelmed by the kindness that people have shown on the internet. So I'm going to open these on my birthday on the 15th of August. But like I said, if you did buy me one of these, please let me know so I can thank you now, and then I know who to go to straight away on my birthday, and I'll be thanking everyone and letting you all know who got me what. So I'm really excited to actually be opening presents on my birthday. Okay, so the reason that we are all here today is for Women Loving Women books. I couldn't sleep last night and I was just scrolling through Goodreads, just thinking about maybe like decluttering my shelves, and I realised that a lot of my Goodreads TBR is books that are coming out next year and that they are Sapphic books. And for me this was quite a revelation at 3 o'clock in the morning, because as youthful as I look, I'm actually in my late 20s, and growing up as a teenager liking books but also being Sapphic was a weird experience. There just didn't seem to be any books with that topic in them. It's certainly not a main character or a book focused around that. If there was going to be anything homosexual in a book, it was going to be like designated to a male side character, and he was basically going to be Kurt from Glee. So the fact that there's so many now, especially of the YA genre, is honestly, I think it's amazing, and it would have definitely changed how I perceive myself and the experience that I had growing up with my sexuality. Hi, me from the future. So I've just finished editing my video and realised that my fake eyelash was like lifting up. And honestly, I'm not filming all that video again, but I feel like I have to say something because someone always comments on what I look like. If there's like a hair out of place, I'll get comments about it. So all I'm saying is, yes, now I know, but that just took an hour to film. So no, I'm not going to refilm it. Just enjoy my fake lashes, just chilling, doing what they want to do. They have some autonomy, apparently. That is all. Because I certainly then wouldn't be spending my late 20s trying to figure everything out as well, if that makes sense. And honestly, some of these books have the most beautiful covers. Not all of them do have covers, the vast majority do. I will link in the description if there's any that are already available to pre-order, and I'll probably check back later on and update that information once they're out. I do want to give a shout out to Teresa at a reading elf, because some of these I did take from her Goodreads shelf and from her Sapphic Reads videos, which I highly recommend, and I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. Obviously these are books that I have my eye on, so they're basically the books that are on the genres that I'm interested in, which are mainly fantasy and YA. There are a few contemporaries in there, but they are mainly not adult books because that's not what I'm basically got my eye on. So I think the one that caught my eye the most, because it has the most stunning cover I've ever seen, is Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrian Tooley. This book is expected to be published on the 9th of March next year, and straight away when I read it after I saw the cover, I was just like, this is definitely something that I would consider pre-ordering. So I'm just going to read out the book description for you. In this charming debut fantasy, perfect for fans of Sorcery of Thorns, which is a book I actually haven't read yet, and Girls of Paper and Fire, which I did read, didn't like, a witch cursed to never love meets a girl hiding her own dangerous magic, and the two strike a dangerous bargain to save their queendom. Tamsin is the most powerful witch of her generation, but after committing the worst magical sin, she's exiled by the ruling coven and cursed with the inability to love. The only way she can get back those feelings, even for just a little while, is to steal love from others. Ren is a source, a rare kind of person who is made of magic, despite being unable to use it herself. Sources are required to train with the coven as soon as they discover their abilities, but Ren, the only caretaker to her ailing father, has spent her life hiding her secret. When a magical plague ravages the queendom, Ren's father falls victim. To save him, Ren proposes a bargain. If Tamsin will help her catch the dark witch responsible for creating the plague, then Ren will give Tamsin her love for her father. Of course, love bargains are a tricky thing, and these two have a long, perilous journey ahead of them. That is, if they don't kill each other first. So this sounds like maybe like enemies to lovers trope, which I'm totally here for. I love the concept of witches and covens. I have just finished American Horror Story Coven, and that is a vibe that I'm just feeling at the moment. But I don't know if I can wait until March for this. This sounds really, really exciting. I really wish it was coming out sooner. But all things are worth waiting for. The next one, which honestly, this cover totally blew me away as well, is A Dark and Hollow Star. This is also expected to come in March. This is expected to be published on the 2nd of March, and honestly, next March is going to bankrupt me. So basically, what I understand of this novel is it's about queer fae teenagers trying to solve a murder in what I think might be an urban fantasy. It's definitely fantasy, I just don't know if it's urban. But it does say it's set in Toronto, so I'm going to go with urban fantasy. The last urban fantasy book I read was Crescent City, and I absolutely loved it. So if this can replicate some of that, but queer, oh. Crescent City also had like a murder mystery going on, which I really, really loved in fantasy. I thought it was a great plot driver, so I'm really looking forward to this one coming out and getting my hands on this one as well. Next is Afterlove by Tanya Byrne. This is expected in June, the 10th of June 2021, so almost a year away. This is a YA queer love story with a little bit of fantasy element. One of these girls is in an accident, she ends up dying, and there's some communication between the afterlife and the real life, and that's where the love story is set. I don't know if anyone read this by Jacqueline Wilson. There was the whole concept in one of the books about, oh, what was it called? Angel. I can't remember what it was called, but it was something to do about Angel, and there's two female friends, and one of them gets hit by the car and ends up dying and becomes an angel, and they carry on their friendship with one of them in that afterlife. That kind of gives me like this little bit of vibes, but a bit more grown up, so I'm interested to see where the story takes us as well. Next is These Feathered Flames, which comes out April next year on the 20th. And I saw this cover and immediately I just thought that gives me like Russian folklore vibes. So when I opened it, I was really excited to actually just see the first sentence, which was 3 Dark Crowns, which is a series that I love, meets wicked saints in this queer own voice retelling of the Firebird, a Russian folklore. I've honestly wanted for the most time more Russian folklore retellings, because they're so interesting when you just sit and read about Russian folklore online, and I love that this book is a take on that. This book has a female love interest in it, and again, it's the enemies to lovers trope, which I'm here for. I think it's really great, and I've not read enough of it recently, so I'm interested. I'm trying to think how I can summarise the plot because it seems so complicated. It is a fantasy book, and I believe it's about princesses and the power that they have. The queen dies and there needs to be a new queen, but there's also like a murder mystery in here as well, so I'm a little bit confused about maybe what exactly is the pinned down plot of this book, but it sounds really, really good. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. maybe hoping to get an arc of this one. Next is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is expected to come out in February, so I think this is the first on this list that's going to come out. This is a new adult novel about a female who elopes in Vegas with a woman that she's just met, and she's trying to navigate her 20s with her new wife. I always kind of expected that at some point in my life I would have one of those drunk moments in Vegas where you just sort of get married to someone that you barely know. I don't know why, I just always felt as a teenager that could be in the realm of possibilities for me. But this book does seem like it would really appeal to my age group especially. This is a girl who's trying to complete a PhD and she has a lot of family expectation. She feels burnt out and a struggle through the job market being a recent PhD graduate. But also trying to figure out where her new wife fits in with these plans as well. So really, I think people in their early 20s are going to love this book. There's not enough books about people's life problems in this time, so I'm looking forward to this one. The next is She's Too Pretty to Burn. This is expected to come out in March as well. Again, expensive month. To me, this has the strangest cover because this cover really doesn't give anything away about what the feel of the plot might be. It's trendy, it's very bright and happy. There's a girl on the cover. She's got pink hair, which is cool. She's got them sort of Tomb Raider glasses, the orange ones. But when I look at this, I do think that it's a contemporary novel, but when reading it, I'm not sure that it is. It's described as an electric romance set against a rebel art scene sparks lethal danger for two girls in this expertly plotted YA thriller. Inspired by the picture of Dorian Gray, I totally missed that when I was researching this book. This sexy psychological thriller explores the intersections of love, art, danger, and power. Honestly, I did not get that from this cover at all, but female queer retelling of the picture of the Dorian Gray. Oh, someone's literally wrote on Goodreads, the author really said Dorian Gray but make it Sapphic murderous teenage girls. I love it, I love it. I feel like we could just stop this video now because we've already had so many good ones, but I think I'm only halfway. Next is a book which I think looks super cute. I love the cover art, honestly. Get this printed onto my wall, and it's I Think I Love You. And this comes out in March as well, 2nd of March. Christmas is now moved to March. We don't care about December anymore. This is epic. Oh, again, enemies to lovers. Apparently, enemy to lover Sapphic is trendy next year. And this already has quite a lot of reviews because apparently it has already been on NetGalley. If you have a copy, let me know what you thought of it. But don't spoil it, please. This is a YA contemporary rom-com about two girls who start as rivals but after a twist of events end up falling for one another. At least they think so. Arch nemesis Emma, a die-hard romantic, and more practical-minded Sophia find themselves competing against one another for a coveted first prize trip to a film festival in Los Angeles. What happens if their rivalry turns into romance? Question mark. It's full of laugh-out humour and make-your-heart melt moments, which on this list I think is very much missing, is the light-hearted humour romance type. So I'm looking forward to this one, and I actually haven't marked that to read on Goodreads, so I want to read. I'm absolutely not surprised at this point anymore that the next book on this list also is coming out on the 2nd of March. Apparently that is the best day to publish a book in 2021, and it is Down Comes the Night. This as well has a lot of ratings, so I'm assuming that it's already been on NetGalley. Yep, it's been on NetGalley this month, so if you check you might still be able to get it. I personally would rather just wait and buy these all when they come out. This is described as a gorgeously gothic, deeply romantic YA debut fantasy about two enemies trapped inside a crumbling mansion with no escape from the monsters within. Okay, this totally sounds like an episode of Black Mirror. This sounds really, really good, and I definitely love the gothic concept. I don't read enough gothic-y books to begin with, never mind sapphic ones, so I'm really looking forward to this one. At first the cover didn't really catch my eye, I'm going to be honest, but as soon as I read just that description alone, I thought this sounds right up my alley. It sounds like something that I need to read. It's also had 108 ratings so far, and it's rated 4.69, which is really, really good, which again makes me very interested in reading it. If the next one is also published date the 2nd of March, I'm going to take that as a sign that I need to pre-order all of these straight away. There's a 1 in 365 chance here that I'm spending like £100. 20th of April, again, April. This one is called She Drives Me Crazy, and I love the cover art so much. It is so cute. Oh, again, no surprises, enemies to lovers. Apparently that is definitely a thing next year. High school nemesis fall in love in this queer YA rom-com, perfect for fans of Becky Albertalli and Casey McQuiston. Honestly, everybody in the comments is just freaking out that it's a sporty Sapphic. There's genuinely like a topic that I've not read a lot of, something to do with like a sport or a sports team, so interesting. This seems also like it's got to do with like ex-girlfriends and ex-partners as well, and it seems like there's quite a lot of like input from adults trying to interfere with the situation, which relatable. So this is definitely also one on my list. So the last 4 books don't actually have covers that I can find that might be different by the time that this video goes up. Hoping it will be. The first one is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland, and this is coming out on May the 18th. In the Ravenous Dark is a dark fantasy with LGBTQ plus relationships, featuring a teen girl whose blood magic abilities put her at the centre of a kingdom in turmoil and bound to an undead guardian meant to control her. Blood magic? Yeah, for it. I'm looking forward to seeing what the cover's going to look like of this one. This is obviously a YA dark fantasy novel about blood magic. I'm really wondering also where this is going to be set as well. Maybe hoping for, well, blood magic. Could be like some voodoo. I'm really hoping this one just isn't set in like California or something, because this one sounds like it could have a very interesting setting indeed. Definitely one that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. The next one is The Haunting of Moon Basin by Alison Ames. This one just says 2021, so I don't actually know when this one is coming out. This is a queer horror pitched with shades of So Kill Girls, in which the people of an old mining town begin experiencing strange phenomena, sleepwalking, night terrors, voices only they can hear, prompting 4 teen girls to investigate. Queer horror mystery. We love the variety. Honestly, my inner 14-year-old is dying. So Kill Girls also one that I want to read, which I haven't got around to buying yet. I love the idea of an old mining town. Like, if I went to America again, that is definitely somewhere I would go straight away, to an old abandoned mining town. You know, those ones in the deserts that were just sort of like, people just up and left, but they still, all the buildings are there. I just think that's pretty cool. And I love BuzzFeed Unsolved, and they'd done an episode somewhere like that, and the vibes were just, ooh. Next is Trouble Girls by Julia Lynn Rubens. Again, this one doesn't specify the date that it's coming out, it just says 2021. The author of Burrow Hills, never heard of it, Julia Lynn Rubens' Trouble Girls, a queer modern reimagining of Thelma and Louise, where after stabbing a would-be rapist to death, 2 best friends go on the run in a journey that grows darker and deadlier with each new disastrous decision they make. Ooh. What? This sounds epic. Wow. I'm so looking forward to this one. Oh, looking forward to the cover art as well. Can anyone remember that Avicii music video, which was like, was it Avicii? I think it was, where it was like Thelma and Louise vibes, and it was really, really good. Oh, I'm really excited for this. I'm wondering when this is going to be set as well. It says a modern reimagining, but obviously that means as in 2020 that it's been written, but is it also modern in the setting as well? Or is it like 1920s, 30s? I can't wait for the cover for that one, honestly. And the last one is Malice by Heather Walter. I do believe there is another book with the title Malice, or a few of them. Maybe it's a common title name. Again, just 2021 for this one, doesn't specify when it's coming out. Heather Walter's Malice, pitched as a queer reimagining of Sleeping Beauty, in which a sorceress whose dark gifts earn her the hatred of a realm finds an unexpected bond with the last surviving heir whose curse can only be lifted by true love's kiss, or perhaps the sorceress herself. I think of all of them, this is the one that I'm maybe not as super excited for, because Sleeping Beauty retelling is a thing that is very, very popular throughout all formats of media, and I feel like Disney kind of nailed it with Maleficent, but the thought of Maleficent being queer in a book, interesting. But I do believe, yes, there isn't enough queer retellings, so I'm buying it. Take my money, I am sold. Hi, hello, it's me again. Post lash removal. I was just editing the video and then I realised that I actually had forgot to include one that I was really anticipating as well. And that is Last Night at the Telegraph Club. When I was going through a list of books that were Sapphic, looking at the covers, this one really caught my eye because there's something so muted about it, but there looks like there's so much detail in here. Looking at it and reading the description, I don't know if this is new adult or if it's young adult. Not that there's that much difference, but it just sort of gives you a little bit of idea of how graphic something could be or about the themes. This book is set in the 1950s in America. The Red Scare is going wild, and our main character is called Lily, who is a Chinese American, and she falls in love with a girl at a club called the Telegraph Club. Oh, it specifically says it's a lesbian bar. Because of Red Scare paranoia, Lily's family face deportation even though they are American citizens and have citizenship. And it's about the risks that these two young girls, who are, the main character is 17, it does state, how far they go, how many risks they take to be together. I expect that this book goes a lot into historical treatment of the LGBT community. It's set in San Francisco, and obviously it also touches on the themes of racism. Definitely absolutely one that I will be adding to my list to buy as well. So that is the handful of books that I'm very excited for. I'm more excited for them than a lot of things coming out for the rest of the year. They are definitely at the top of my pre-order list. And like I said at the start of the video, it does genuinely mean so much to me that we're in a time and an age where books are so accessible for women who are sapphic or trying to come to terms with their own sexuality through the experience of reading, because that's something I really wish that I had 10 years ago, well, 15 years ago, would have made my life so much better. And Lord knows I am sick of reading straight romance right now. I could always just reread Priory of the Orange Tree over and over again until this comes out. But maybe, just maybe, one of these books might be a sapphic romance book, because I did actually put a lot of on my Amazon wish list, which were LGBTQ books. That's basically what the majority of the list was. And my grandma keeps asking, can I see your Amazon wish list so I can get you like a book off it as well for your birthday? I'm like, no. Because it's just a bunch of women wanting to kiss women on the covers, and we're not there yet. I did consider making like a separate book depository one to send her, which was just straight fiction, because that's definitely not a birthday present that I need right now, is that argument or that conversation. But anyway, besides the point, thank you so much for watching my channel. Please DM me on Twitter if this was you. There is 5 parcels. I think one of them might be off Rebecca. Another one is off someone that I already know. They've come forward off Twitter. Obviously I'm going to put all the names of everyone that sent me these gifts in my birthday video, if they allow me to. Obviously I don't want to, if they're not okay with that, and I will ask beforehand. But these are such kind people, and I honestly can't think of an appropriate way to thank them at all, apart from doing it very publicly and asking everyone else to go and thank them for me as well, to sort of cheer them up. I don't know. I've never experienced this level of kindness before, so I don't actually know what to do in this situation. But now I'm rambling, so I'm gonna go. I hope you got some great recommendations. Let me know in the comments which ones you are looking forward to reading as well. Also let me know if you have other suggestions that I've maybe just not found on the internet. And let me know also if you would like to see maybe a part 2 of this video around December time, when we know what it's coming out later next year for Sapphic Reads. But thank you so much for watching. I love you all as always. Thank you. See you next one. Bye.